Welcome to the Noottob, out in the vineyard again. We're going to take a look at some Gewurztraminer today. This is a Gewurztraminer vineyard. We're on Jim Hazlitt's property, Sawmill Creek Vineyards, one of our primary growers, one of the best growers in the East, I must say. We made some terrific Gewurz last year, actually from this vineyard and one other vineyard just up the road. The Curry Creek Vineyard, which belongs to John and Allison Santos, a couple of great growers specializing in Pinot Gris and Gewurztraminer. So here we are today. This is my first trip into the vineyard of the season to start assessing fruit quality and fruit maturity. Things look great so far. It's been a pretty wet year. The growers have been really active, keeping up with things, keeping the grapes well sprayed with sulfur and fungicides to keep them clean, and also doing a lot of shoot positioning. In fact, if you take a look down this grape row, you'll see that, well, let's take a look here. See all this fruit hanging out there in the sunshine? It's not too sunny today. Well, that's by design. They don't just grow that way. They kind of grow that way, but if we weren't out here thinning leaves and shoot positioning, these grapes would be a lot more covered with leaves. See, the minute you start exposing them to the sun, they start drying out more quickly, staying free from mildew, and also ripening more quickly, getting changes in both tannins and flavors in the grapes. So at this point, they're pretty sour. Tastes kind of like a crab apple, maybe the white rind of a watermelon. A little bit astringent, very tart. But what we want to do is get a good assessment of the sugar, the acid, and the pH. How do we do that? Well, we take some samples. And I don't just pick one cluster off. I take individual berry samples, quite a few of them, from different places on the vine, up and down the row, just gently picking them off so I don't bruise the grapes next to the one I picked. I don't want to mess up the clusters and create a point for infection. But let me do that. This is the beginning of the season. I'm looking for just a very rough idea, sort of a baseline of sugar, acid, and pH. So I'm going to take a sample, only about 50 berries here. Once I get into the season a little bit closer, I'll expand that sample size to about 100 berries, so I can also take a look at the weight of each individual berry. I won't weigh them all individually. I'll weigh them all and then divide by 100, of course. Because in addition to looking at the overall concentration of sugar and acid, we want to know how big the berries are and actually know how many grams of sugar and acid are in each berry. And if the berries get bigger, the acid may look like it's decreasing if the grapes swell up with water, but it's really not. And likewise, if we see increases in sugar, along with berries sort of drying out and shriveling, well, maybe more sugar wasn't made by photosynthesis, but the concentration just increased because of the water left the berries through evaporation. Okay, I've got a few there. Let me get a few from this other row. This is a sunnier side of the row, this downhill side of the row. That's enough. Okay, here we go. Gewurztraminer. Cheers.